resonating with you. What do you guys think about what's going on down here in terms of this platform, this dynamic, this community, how it relates to Denver, how it, you know, okay, I'm gonna keep it 100. If this was 5 years ago and this was black folks down here going through this dynamic, what do you think the outcome would be in terms of the police coming down here and letting them stay, and it now being white folks and the police not showing up?
Hot damn, Kevin.
Hey.
You didn't ask the race question.
Hey.
So the cops came out 70 strong with a helicopter a month or so ago, and arrested a bunch of 10 people, tore down the tiny homes. So I think race is an important question. But I think the police have shown opposition to whoever's out here because homelessness is inconvenient. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's just not a convenient topic. And it would be easier if the homeless people went away and took their problems out to the suburbs where poverty is not as visible. Because Denver is such a sexy city people are moving to. This is not what they want to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Benny, what do you think? Being from a different state.
She's coming from Atlanta,
right,
where they were doing this stuff in the 90s.
Right.
And they had a camping ban in the 90s.
Okay.
At Hyde Park. I know that one.
Right. I think that often the images that we see is that we think that poverty has a particular face, right?
Right.
And I think that what this is, why this is powerful, is what we realize is that the system as it is doesn't work for many people.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And so we have to begin to, and that because it's working for people, that when we take a look at the images that we're fed are often people of privilege, then perhaps this will be a wake-up call for those of us who think that this is somebody else's issue or someone else's problem. Right? And so this is a reflection of that we have not gotten this right. Yeah, and I heard someone say, who's from Denver, that one of the things that Denver feels good about is that you all have been pioneers and you're progressive and you're on the leading edge, and so here's an opportunity to get it right. Right. So that's and I've only been in Denver for about 4 days, so that's my initial kind of response when I see what's happening.
Okay. Well, I know that for a long time, being from Denver, if this would have been on the race issue, and I have to keep it there for just a moment, if the demographics of those folks would have been a little bit darker, they would be looked at as pariahs.
Yeah, but you remember this neighborhood was full of people of color up until a few years ago when it became different. So you got this space right here, which is a year-round barbecue, right? It's a year-round cookout, and they have bands out here performing. This land is okay to use for that, but this land where people need a place to live is not okay for that. But 7 years ago, when this was a low-income community full of people of color, where police were here mostly to arrest, but not to maintain safety in the neighborhood, that problem would have stayed here because that was what this community was about. Poverty and race, people of color. But because the neighborhood has changed, the term that people use often is gentrification, which is often about white people, but really it's about resources that middle-class whites often bring with them. Now we've got the question about race in a very different way. But 7 years ago, this would have been people of color living outside anyway, because that's what this neighborhood was full of. But they got moved out to southeast Aurora and Montbello.
Right. Very deep. So I ask you, have you had your pulse on the city's ideas on how they're going to be moving these folks into an area that can be developed for folks who are going through this dynamic?
I don't.
No.
I think a good friend of mine who's an activist in the city wants to advocate with the city council that they make an amendment to the camping ban so that there are areas in the city where people are allowed to camp, which I think is a right next step. But I don't know actually how the city's going to respond to that. I guess we'll see once an actual amendment document is written out.
Okay. Well, do you have any ideas yourself about how this problem can be fixed? And if so, if it can be fixed for folks like them, then it should be able to be fixed for everybody, right? Oh, I love that smile. That was a good smile, brother. Young lady, that was a great smile. I see the wheels clicking.
Of course it could be fixed. It's just going to require will, right?
Yes.
It's just will. So if we can put a man on the moon, if we can, you know, we can solve the issue of making sure everyone has a safe place and a safe bed to sleep. Right? We have more than enough. So it's just the will. This is about will.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with that.
Amen.
I agree with that. It is about interesting.
Well, again, my name is Kenneth S., and I would like to thank you both for being a part of this interview and a part of this platform. And please look for your interviews on Your Colfax News. Subscribe on Facebook, like us on Facebook, and you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you.